Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Eric, and sit back, relax. We're going to be talking some comics today. One of the main topics that came up recently, it's actually been announced for a few weeks now over at DC, is their new Rebirth initiative. Um, as of this recording, it's today is the 19th of February 2016, and as of yesterday, DC finally announced what exactly Rebirth was. For those of you who have not heard, basically in May they're going to be launching or not launching, but they're going to be doing what is their issue 52s, meaning that every series that started with what they call the New 52 back in September 2011 is going to be ending with issue 52, and all the other series coming out in May as well. And in May they're going to do a book, I believe it's called DC Universe Rebirth, #1. It's a one shot. It's going to be kicking off the entire thing. And basically what they're wanting to do is kind of get DC Comics back to its legacy roots, whether or not that means Superman wearing his underwear on the outside again, Ollie having the goatee once again, return of the blue and gold, who knows. But that's one of the things they're doing with the Rebirth, is wanting to get back to that legacy of the characters. And I know two of the main sources that they were saying that they were getting the inspiration from were Green Lantern Rebirth and Flash Rebirth. Green Lantern Rebirth was the return of Hal Jordan after he was during Reign of the Supermen. A coast city was destroyed by the cyborg Superman and Mongol. Then Hal went nuts, killed off the Green Lantern Corps, became Parallax, ended up sacrificing himself as Parallax, became the Spectre, and then eventually during Green Lantern Rebirth, they brought him back. Not only they bring him back, but they brought back the Green Lantern Corps, Sinestro, all these classic elements of the Green Lantern universe. Same with Flash Rebirth. Flash, Barry Allen died during Crisis on Infinite Earths, hadn't been seen since. Wally West becomes the Flash. So that's kind of the genesis, if you will, the kind of what they're wanting to do storyline wise with this new Rebirth initiative. One of the things that they're doing with it, everyone's starting over number ones. Green Lantern starting off with #1, Green Arrow starting off with #1, Aquaman, Flash, all those characters starting off with #1. The exceptions being Action Comics and Detective Comics. They are going to go back to their numbering as though they never stopped. So Action is going to go back to number 957. Detective is going to go back to 934. So basically what they're doing is they're just adding 52 issues to what Action Comics and Detective Comics were before the relaunch, and bringing those back. Now, whether or not this means it's going to be a return of the pre-52 Bruce Wayne, pre-52 Clark Kent, who knows? We're going to find out more, hopefully in the next couple months, what exactly these storylines are going to be entailing. So basically, even though they've announced these books, they've announced this is what they're doing, a lot of books are going to be twice a month. DC's keeping the price point low. Everything was fluctuating between $2.99 $3.99. They're going to keep all their books. I guess they're going back to the Drawing the Line at $2.99 campaign that they did pre-Flashpoint, which if you're going to, some of your big name books, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, if those are going to come out twice a month, you want to have a lower price point. So I mean, that's good on DC. With the emphasis on legacy and whatnot, some of the announced books kind of bring up some good questions as to what exactly are they going to be about. I know one of the things that DC is also wanting to do is the whole DCU that's going on right now, everything essentially post Convergence. A lot of stories, I believe, like Starfire and I think maybe Prez and some other books like that, were not necessarily in continuity. They were kind of doing their own thing, not really adhering closely to the rest of the continuity. I mean, heck, over in Batman and Detective, you got Jim Gordon running around the bat suit, and a mechanized bat suit, and you got Superman depowered, running around still in his back in the old T-shirt from the Grant Morrison run on Action Comics. But that over in Justice League, you got Hal's wearing his ring, Superman's fully powered, Bruce Wayne is Batman doing the Darkseid War thing. So whether that takes that place after, before all these things, I mean, who knows? So yeah, the DC, in my mind, DC trying to do a let's get everything back to, we're all living in the same universe thing. I applaud them as long as they can do it correctly. I mean, on what that means, they need to tighten up the editorial reins a little bit, trying to keep something more coherent. I have no idea. Some things of note in the with some of the planned books coming out, June and July, they're going to be doing one-shots before these books come out, kind of introducing you to the world of these characters. Again, whether or not they're sticking with the 52, or they're going back to pre-Flashpoint, or they decide to go, I don't know, pre-Crisis altogether. Who knows? Maybe that might be something to, and I apologize for going on a tangent real quick, but that might be something they might be trying to do too, is now that at the end of Convergence they established that Crisis never happened, the original Crisis never happened. Maybe that's what we're going to be seeing, is some of the fallout of that finally. Again, just a thought. The only indication I have personally that this could possibly be a return of the old DCU is only because of the fact that they're bringing back the numbering to Action and Detective. Back pre-Flash, Wally got lost in Speed Force with Linda and the kids during Infinite Crisis. And then Bart Allen, who was Impulse, was he Impulse? No, he was Kid Flash at the time, ended up taking the mantle of the Flash and had not successful, but he had a 12-issue ongoing series that ended with that character dying. Don't worry, he got better. But over in Justice League and whatnot, they had brought back Wally. He came back out of the Speed Force with Linda and the kids grown up, and Wally took back over the mantle of Flash. And in doing that, they actually, instead of once again, which seems to be the trend now, but instead of once again coming out with, another brand new issue of new series of Flash, starting out again with another #1, I think they did the All Flash special, bringing back Wally, and then the next month or the next issue of Flash was they basically start again with Wally's numbering, as though the series had never ended to begin with. So that's one of the things that makes me wonder with the numbering system, okay, are they going to bring back the pre-Flashpoint? Based on that evidence, again, talking about Legacy and everything, that could be something they're doing. Another thing with Legacy, and even though they didn't announce a series yet, one of the things you have to wonder, are they going to be bringing back Justice Society, or is that what Earth 2, I believe that's one of the new books coming out, is that going to be kind of a classic Justice Society, or is that going to be a continuation of the current Earth 2 that we have? But again, talking about Legacy, are we going to get that, or are we going to have a return of Earth 2 from pre-Flash, or not even pre-Flash, but from pre-Crisis, with, again, the Crisis on Infinite Earths not happening, essentially, at the end of Convergence? Could that be what we're getting? Another book that has me kind of interested, kind of seeing what they're going to do with it, is the announced Nightwing book. At the end of Forever Evil, Dick Grayson's identity, or not at the end, beginning of Forever Evil, Dick Grayson's identity was revealed to the entire world. So everyone knew Dick Grayson was Nightwing. How nobody then put together that Bruce was Batman other than Lex Luthor, no idea. We won't talk about that right now. But since Forever Evil, everyone thinks Dick Grayson is dead at the end of Forever Evil, and he's not. He was over in his own book, Grayson being James Bond's super spy. But the fact that they're coming out with a new Nightwing book makes me wonder, okay, are we going to go back to pre-Flashpoint Nightwing? Is New 52 Dick Grayson no longer going to be followed? Are they going to, is DC going to do their own version of One More Day essentially and um, put the genie back in the bottle essentially to in the New 52 world to get Dick Grayson back in the Nightwing identity? There's just all sorts of different possibilities, all sorts of different questions that even just the announcement of the books has you wondering. Is, you know, there's Batgirl and the Birds of Prey coming out, or is that going to be Barbara Gordon still? Are we still going to have Barbara Gordon in this? Is she going to go back to being Oracle, and it might be pre-Flashpoint Stephanie Brown that's being inducted into the Birds of Prey? Again, just talking about all the different possibilities of what this new relaunch could possibly be. I'm definitely definitely excited to see what DC's going to be doing. I'm going to be reserving judgment of what this could be until we actually see the books, based on some of the basically the announcements of the emphasis on legacy, cohesiveness of the universe. I'm very optimistic of what this could be. I wasn't a long time DC reader. I was more Marvel side prior to going to DC or reading DC. My actual first ongoing basis of reading DC Comics was during the Batman Hush storyline, and then picking up stuff from that point on up until Infinite Crisis. The aspect of the fact that there was a larger tapestry of history going on with these characters, the fact that there had been multiple, a long line of Green Lanterns, a long line of Flash characters, a long line of, even like with Justice Society, the mantles being passed on, long line of Green Arrows. I mean, heck, even replacement Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman over the years. That sense of legacy and history has always interested me about DC Comics. I'm one of those people who, though I'll buy new number ones and buy new number one series, I prefer, I almost prefer my books to be 3 digits as far as numbering. As a long-time X-Men reader, I was actually a little upset when they finally renumbered Uncanny X-Men. So I'm very cautiously optimistic as to what DC's going to be doing with the Rebirth. So yeah, that's where I stand on there. I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to say. So drop in the comments your opinions about some of the announcements, what you think of Jeff Johns' explanations as to what they're wanting to do with Rebirth, whether or not you like the fact that he's got his hand in the entirety of the line of Rebirth, kind of helping mold, shape it. Are you a fan of the original 2 Rebirth series, and are you going to be picking this one up? Let me know in the comments. So thank you guys for listening, and until next time, see you later.